Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a new video about strange-looking planes of the World War II. Let's begin. Top of the list is Vought V-173. The Vought V-173, also known as a flying pancake, was an American experimental test aircraft built as part of the Vought XF-5U program during World War II. Both the V-173 and the XF-5U featured an unorthodox all-wing design consisting of a flat, somewhat disc-shaped body like a pancake flying, hence the nickname, serving as the lifting surface. Two piston engines buried in the body drove propellers located on the leading edge at the wingtips. Powered by two Continental A80 horizontally opposed, four-cylinder engines producing 80 horsepower each, giving it a maximum speed yield of 138 miles per hour. In the 1930s, Charles H. Zimmerman was a noted aeronautical engineer who advocated the concept of discoidal aircraft, the so-called Zimmer skimmer, and worked on a variety of projects on his own and with the Vought company. The original prototype, designated the V-173, was built of wood and canvas and featured a conventional, fully symmetrical aerofoil section. Took its first flight on the 23rd of November 1942. On number 2 is XP-54. The Vultee XP-54 Swoose Goose was a prototype fighter built by the Vultee Aircraft Company for the United States Army Air Forces. Vultee submitted a proposal in response to a U.S. Army Air Corps request for an unusual configuration. The Vultee design won the competition, beating the Curtiss XP-55 Ascender and the Northrop XP-56 Black Bullet. Vultee designated it Model 84, a descendant of their earlier Model 78. The XP-54 was designed with a pusher engine in the aft part of the fuselage. The tail was mounted rearward between two mid-wing booms, with the 12-foot propeller between them. The design included a ducted wing section developed by the NACA to potentially enable installation of cooling radiators and intercoolers in the inverted gull wing. Powered by a Lycoming XH-24701 liquid-cooled piston engine, 2,300 shaft horsepower, ranging its speed up to 381 miles per hour, also carrying two 37mm T-12 or T-13 cannon 100 rounds and two 50 caliber M2 Browning machine guns containing 580 rounds. Movement of the nose and machine guns was controlled by a special compensating gun sight. Coming up next is Mistel set. Mistel was the larger, unmanned component of a composite aircraft configuration developed in Germany during the later stages of World War II. The composite comprised a small piloted control aircraft mounted above a large explosives-carrying drone, the Mistel, and as a whole was referred to as the Huckepack or Piggyback, also known as the Beethoven Jarret or Beethoven device or Vaterland, meaning daddy and son. The most successful of these used a modified Junkers Ju-88 bomber as the Mistel, with the entire nose-located crew compartment replaced by a specially designed nose filled with a large load of explosives, formed into a shaped charge. The upper component was a fighter aircraft, joined to the Mistel by struts. The final stage of Mistel development was of specialized purpose-built jet-powered bomber components, including ones developed from the Messerschmitt Me-262, the Junkers Ju-287 and the entirely new Arado R-234. Coming up next is XP-56. The Northrop XP-56 Black Bullet was a unique prototype fighter interceptor built by the Northrop Corporation. It was one of the most radical of the experimental aircraft built during World War II. Ultimately, it was unsuccessful and did not enter production. The initial idea for the XP-56 was quite radical for 1939. It was to have no horizontal tail, only a small vertical tail, used an experimental engine, and be produced using a novel metal, magnesium. The aircraft was to be a wing with a small central fuselage added to house the engine and pilot. It was hoped that this configuration would have less aerodynamic drag than a conventional airplane. Its powerplant was the Pratt & Whitney R280029 radial engine producing 2,000 horsepower, which enabled it to achieve a maximum speed of 465 miles per hour. It also featured two 20mm cannons and four 12.7mm machine guns. Last on the list is Blohm & Voss BV-141. The Blohm & Voss BV-141 was a World War II German tactical reconnaissance aircraft, notable for its uncommon structural asymmetry. Although the Blohm & Voss BV-141 performed well, it was never ordered into full-scale production, for reasons that included the unavailability of the preferred engine and competition from another tactical reconnaissance aircraft, the Focke-Wulf FW-189, powered by a BMW 801A 14-cylinder. Air-cooled radial piston engine which produces 1538 horsepower for takeoff at sea level. Its maximum speed was 368 km per hour at sea level, featuring two 7.92mm MG-17 machine guns at the front and two 7.92mm MG-15 machine guns at the rear, also holding four SC-50 bombs. That's all for today. See you in another video.